Right, good evening, people. We've got two on at the moment, so good evening to Nick and XP. I hope you're well. We've got one of the two guests in the green room at the moment. I'll just welcome you to the live stream, and hopefully others will follow. So we'll bring Scott out of the wings. He's been in the green room for about half an hour, and he's been on the gin and tonic. So here he is. He's Scott, and as you may know, he's a Detector Network man.
How's it going? Thanks for having me on, Steve.
That's a pleasure. When we hopefully get a few more people, we've got John, Clayton, and Philip Wills on at the moment. Hopefully, Scott, you should see the comments.
I can, yeah. I've just switched the tab, so that's cool.
I'll just get this off here, and we'll put this one on here. Hopefully, there you go. Tonight's Suffolk Sifter special guests are Scott from Detector Network and Adrian from Treasure Hunting Magazine. He's a little bit delayed. Hopefully, he'll be with us in the next sort of 10-15 minutes. So in the meantime, we'll just have a little gas. So anybody got any questions to ask any of us, then go ahead. Looks like Nick Heil back in Spain and recovering from a 3-week trip to the UK. Was it that drastic then, Nick, coming over to the UK? Ken, History Hunters and Finds, good evening, all from Dundee, Scotland.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Ken.
Thanks to you as well.
So we'll just have a bit of banter to start with. So if you've got any burning questions you want to get stuck into us before Adrian joins us, then feel free.
Hi, Luke from Anglo Detecting.
Hi, Anglo Detecting, unearthing our past. And Ken, History Hunters and Finds. Good evening to you. Well, we're ripping away here. We've got 7 people on, and it's only been 3 minutes and 26 seconds.
I've posted the link on DN as well.
Oh,
so
great. Yeah, I did a little bit of sort of promotion about an hour or so ago, so we'll see.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, it'll be hopefully an interesting stream tonight because there have been quite a few interesting developments recently. We've got some more releases coming up, so we'll discuss that shortly as well, which will be good.
John, was that fire near your house, Steve, last week? Fire. Hey, Fat Fool, Rick's on board. Good evening, Rick. A fire, John? Where was this fire? Certainly didn't notice any fires where I am. Mind you, I was away last week, so nothing's burnt down, so everything's here. So Rick's on board. What time is it with you, Rick? You're about 6 behind us, are you? About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Rick? It was on the news. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of things on the news, John. No, I'm not aware of any fire in my local area, mate, so I can't comment on that. Nick says traffic was abysmal. Did you have a nice time when you came back, mate? You know, we're always glad to get back to Spain.
Wild Fellows is in.
Yep. Hello, Wild Fellows. Fat Phil says yep. So I'm assuming it's about 4 minutes past 3 US.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of people from the US sign up recently as well, which has been interesting.
Yeah. I'm assuming everybody on here has signed up to the Detector Network. Mr. Random, Mr. Lord Random's on board.
Hi, Rob. I haven't had the pleasure to speak with you yet. I've heard a lot of good things.
Good things about Rob. What's Rob say? Well done. That's good. You have a waiting live, and then it's one's like, yeah. Look, Scott told me that I had to sort of set up a schedule on YouTube for this to work in ultra low latency. So I've done that. And now we've got 2 live streams. So thanks, Scott. See if I can cancel that. I can see it. I was expecting when I hit live broadcast on the StreamYard that would kick in, but it's still sitting there waiting. So we're going to have to try and delete that, because otherwise people will be hanging around. So I've got a live now up there. I can't see the scheduled one. YouTube's right pain in the rear.
I just saw your comment there, John. If you want to send me an email to scott@detectornetwork.com, I'll give you a demo over Google Meet on how to set up your profile.
Southern Searching Metal Detecting, good evening to you. Rob, you owe me wages. So how do I cancel this scheduled one, Rob? Because I can't see it. I can see the live one. Obviously don't want to click that off, do I? Let's go back to classic streaming, see if we can do it that way around. Well, feel free, Scott, to talk. I'm trying to sort something out.
No worries. So I guess, well, pre-live stream, anyone have any questions about Detector Network in the chat? How many have we got in now?
Next time I shan't bother doing the YouTube thing. But I got told off the first time I'd done it. Oh, you should have scheduled a YouTube live, and then that would have worked okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you do
Southern
it.
Searchers in.
It makes it 10 times worse.
Well, no one's got any questions yet, so that's probably a good thing.
No, I'll just drink tea. You carry on.
Hey, it's your stream.
No, you can have that's gone wrong. You can have it, Scott. So I can't see a scheduled one, Rob. I can see the last live was the Overstrand one where I got bitten to death with 1,001 mosquitoes. But I can't see a scheduled one. So how are you seeing this scheduled one then, Rob? Upcoming 18th of March. We're on the 20. What are we? Are we 19th? Can't remember the date now. We're 19th.
Nick West asks, can you put your Facebook group on Detector Network? And you can create public and private groups on Detector Network. So if you create one, I can show you how to do it as well if you can't find it. Then you can just paste the link on Facebook and ask people to join it from there. Southern Searcher says he hasn't joined Detector Network yet. He's not sure exactly what it is, but hopefully this stream I'll be able to explain to you exactly what it is. And if you want me to give you a demo, just drop me an email to scott@detectornetwork.com and we can arrange something.
Right. Well, I can't find this one. Rob, network link page. Yeah, Rob's linked in there.
Thanks, Rob.
So I can't see. There's always something going wrong on these things. I can't see where the one was pending is, Rob. I can see the live one, but
I can only see the live one on mine as well.
oh well. Never mind, as they say. Let's go back into studio. The trouble is you got like a studio and a classic studio, and you keep going in between them, and they should shut one down and just have one, because it gets very, very muddled.
Southern Searcher, you're not the first person to say that to me. Mike from the Metal Detecting channel said exactly the same thing. So I made it quite inconspicuous when I launched it, just so we didn't do a lot of pushing. We wanted to see if it would generate any interest. We did a soft launch, so we'll be updating the homepage of that soon.
Right, I'm going to leave it. I'm sorry if anybody's been sitting on the scheduled live stream, which isn't live, but I can't find it to stop it, so we'll just have to move on. Okay, Lou Fatboy Wood, good evening to you. Hello, Suffolk Sifter. And Scott, Sifters in the tea. What are you drinking, Scott? Vodka.
I'm on the water today. Normally I'm on the coffee or the beer, but it's water for today. There's too much work to do. So
Why do you assume it's tea in here then, Lou? Could be Captain Morgan spiced, or you don't know.
Johnny B asked, what is Detector Network? Well, hopefully we'll clear that up for you tonight on the stream.
Righty, as I say, we're waiting for the second guest, but we'll just muddle on here at the moment. Hopefully, another 5 minutes, the second guest will be on board.
Yeah, hopefully it shouldn't be too long.
Cool. It's in a mug, not a shoe. Yeah, okay. It's an in joke, Scott. If you weren't there, you won't know about it.
I won't ask.
No, don't. Rob says his Nigel coming on it. I'm not sure. He didn't say he was, but there again, I asked permission to post the sort of like advert onto his page, so I thought only polite to do so, and he said, "Yeah, okay." So you never know. He might grace us. He might not. V Rock. This is fun. Well, I'm sitting here. I'm sweating buckets here because that weren't fun at the start because things didn't work quite well.
I've got a fan on the go here. It's quite hot this evening, isn't it?
I have a fan, but unfortunately, I've got a half decent Rode mic here, and that picks it up, so I can't have it on. So,
oh right, yeah.
I saw your post, which he ignored. Want me to hijack him? Well, I don't know. You can hijack who you like, Rob. If you want to get Nigel over here, I just didn't want to trouble him. Nick says, "Did you get me party poppers?" No, I didn't, Nick. I'm at the door every morning waiting for the postman, waiting for the party poppers, but they haven't turned up yet. We did have a letter from the kind Royal Mail saying somebody hadn't posted enough postage, so I had to cough up £1.50 to get something. I thought I better send damn party poppers, but no, it was something completely different from Mrs. Sifter, so I can't blame you, Nick. So no, I haven't got the party poppers at the moment. The next piece said, Scott, if you were there, you'll never forget it.
Oh, right.
No, as a crazy night, and it involved, I think, beer and Jack Daniels, I think, and shoes. not just any shoes.
All right.
We'll try to keep that under the radar. So I'm not going to mention it tonight, are we, people? Just in case a certain person watches it back.
I certainly can't drink Jack Daniels anymore. God, I used to drink quite a lot of that. John Clayton says, a little confusing saying I've been a member of UK Detector Net. And funny enough, it's cited. Yeah, might be. But Detector Network, I think, is quite a good brand. People seem to like it and remember it so far. So.
All right. I'm just clicking on things. Right, Nick says, okay, we'll get on to them. Yeah, I don't know. When did you send it, Nick? Or when did you send them, Nick? Is that David Blaine? That's their trick. I think you've been cheeky there, V-Rock. I'll get my Rottweiler, my pet Rottweiler onto you, Rob. Rob will have to have a go at you.
Well, we could go ahead, I guess.
Yeah,
you know,
well, I reckon we will.
Because
Adrian's a little bit caught up with more important stuff, family, and I'll bring him in when he turns up. So, well, if you want far away, Scott, and do your whatever you want to do, you go for it.
Sure. Well, I'll just do a quick intro. I'm sure that a lot of you have heard it all before, but I'm Scott from Detector Network. I created detectornetwork.com. It's a new social platform for metal detecting worldwide. So it's essentially just like Facebook, but purely for metal detecting. We soft launched it on the 8th of May. We've got just over, well, quite a lot of members now, 1,500 plus members from 25 plus countries. And we're going from strength to strength. For the moment, it's growing quite steadily. So the way it started was my brother and I were sat here during the pandemic, and he bought a Knox 800 and went out and he looked at all the forums, and they were quite old and antiquated and difficult to use. So I've been in digital marketing and web development for 15 plus years. And I thought, instead of watching the news 24/7, being worried about the virus and all of this stuff, why don't we start a project, see what we can do, see if we can create something better than those forums out there. And that's how Detector Network came about. So that's essentially what Detector Network is. Hopefully that answers some of your questions that you asked me initially. Johnny B, thanks for signing up.
Yeah, because I must confess, when I stumbled across that, I think somebody mentioned Detector Network, and hadn't really heard anything about it before. And so I went over, I thought, oh, cool. I saw just for Detectorists, so that's good. And I thought, hang on, this is Facebook. But
Yeah.
no, it's just for us Detectorists. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've had, I think, 99.9% positive feedback so far.
Yeah.
A few people question it. They think, why would we use Detector Network when we've got Facebook? There are a couple of different reasons for that. One, we've got control over the platform, so we can build features specific for Detectorists, whereas Facebook would never do that.
No.
Also, you've got quite a lot of privacy issues on Facebook as well. So, of course, we're not quite as good as Facebook yet in terms of features and functionality, but we're only on version 1. All of the apps are due to be released soon, both for iOS and Android. So that will be the core timeline apps. We'll have messenger apps as well, similar to Facebook. And I've also just launched another platform, which we'll talk about shortly as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it so far. Thanks for signing up as well, Steve.
Yeah, not a problem.
What do you think of the platform so far?
I think it's good. You've got a lot of features there. Just before I start waffling, Nick just said, Scott, can we post fines with swastikas on, as Facebook gets very touchy?
You can. However, if there are any complaints, then we might ask you to put that in a private group. However, for now, generally, it's, I think I've only had to ban one user in the whole time we've been live, and that was for posting a malicious link. Everyone else has been great on the platform. We're pretty open. You can follow who you want on there. If you have a problem, you can block a user. You've got full private control over your privacy. There's privacy settings as well. John Clayton just mentioned something about a GoPro app in site. Well, thankfully, we just got accepted onto the GoPro affiliate program. So for Detector Network, so we'll be able to offer you affiliate links. Obviously, we'll get a kickback for that. Maybe we can offer some member-specific discounts. I thought GoPro would be a good one to go with, considering most of you have YouTube channels and you sort of get out there filming. So yeah,
Philip says, is there much content on there now?
There's a lot of content on there now. Yeah. If you go on there, you'll probably spend many hours scrolling through it if you follow people on there in the profiles. So the more people you follow, the more content you'll see in your news feed. You can go into the groups as well. There's a DN worldwide group where everyone generally introduces themselves. And then there's also a fines ID group where you can post up unidentified fines for people to comment on. There's all sorts of other groups as well. Rob Random's trying to troll me there. Can I take over the world via Detector Network? Well, it depends what your goals are, Rob. So just let me know. We'll see what we can do. Soon we'll be launching mobile live streaming as well, so you can live stream fines direct from the field. We had a sort of an introductory call with the PAS recently. So if you want to record fines with fines liaison officers, a lot of them are on board now as well. So yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff you can do. I mean, I suppose I could run through all the current features of the platform.
Johnny says the first time I've seen it, and honestly, it does look like Facebook. I nearly said fake book for a minute. And so, what's your reply on that, then, Scott?
Yeah, I produced it like Facebook because it's what people are used to. It's what they're comfortable with, and you don't want to alienate any users on the platform. So it makes sense to make it look like Facebook. but it's owned by me and by Detector Network, and we can do what we want with it, really. We've just started integrating LiDAR maps into it as well, and you can chat with members and plot points on the map and stuff like that. So there's quite a lot of stuff that we're doing feature-wise that we're sort of releasing in stages.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, I'll set up all I can set up on it. I think I've set a group up, and you can do. I think you can do as much, if not more, than you can on Facebook. Personally, it's more comfortable. It's more friendlier feel, I think, because everybody on there, or 99% of people on there, are going to be fellow detectorists, like-minded people. Obviously, you might get one or two spare spanners in there, which are out for no good, but hopefully
unavoidable. Yeah,
you can weed them out over time.
It's been really good so far, and people enjoy the live chat feature, especially because on YouTube you generally haven't got that interaction with other detectorists around the world that easily. So when you follow other people, you can chat with them using the live feature. You can post up all of your finds. You can create so I could go through all the features, I guess, just to
run through it out of the way. I mean, you're probably going to have to go through it again when everybody else, when Adrian has, more people come through. But you fill your boots, Scott.
Oh, Dirt Diggers is in.
Hey, two Scots for the price of one.
Yeah. Rob just asked, can you make a dating section on there? Well, it's funny to say that, because I was asked about Detectorist dating recently, and it's something I've decided not to implement for now. It's not really a space I want to get involved in. But if someone else has mentioned that.
Yeah.
So on Detector Network, this is essentially what you can do at the moment. You sign up for an account. You can create your own profile. You can add which club you're a part of, what metal detector you have, what your current main use is. You can follow other members and live chat. You can post finds and updates on your news feed. So on your timeline, sorry, it's pretty much the same as news feed. So you can post photos, videos, audio clips, files as well, so PDFs and things like that. Yeah. There's a lot of other features I've added onto that recently as well, which you'll see if you sign in. When people follow you, they can see your updates in their news feed. When you follow other people, you can see their updates. You've got a full reaction system like Facebook, so you can like, love, laugh at things, different things like that. Yeah. We've just added chat stickers specific for Detector Network in the chat feature as well. One important feature is you can create what's called like pages. So similar to Facebook, you've got like pages for businesses. So you can do exactly the same on Detector Network for your shop, YouTube channel, magazine, charity, organization. You can add your subscribe link on the like page. You can post. So when you create a like page, you've got your personal profile, timeline and newsfeed, and then you've got your like page, so under your brand. So you might create a like page for your YouTube channel, post up the links to your YouTube videos, and then hopefully over time, as we onboard more people onto the platform, you'll get more exposure and more subscribers. So we're looking for a win-win, really. The bigger we get, the more exposure you guys will get, and the more content you put up, the bigger we'll get anyway. The more valuable the platform is. You can also create public and private groups, and you can also have join requests as well. So if it's a public group, when someone tries to join, you'll get a thing that says this person is asked to join. Do you want to accept or decline? You can create events. So we haven't had any of that yet. I think it might be because of the virus going on. No one's created any events yet. No. But you can do that. You can write and publish articles as well. And we've got the Searcher on board, and of course Treasure Hunting magazine. So if you write and publish an article, it's highly likely that it could get picked up by a magazine and published, which will be quite popular. What's that there? Thanks, Scott. Yeah, this is outstanding. Thanks for the feedback. Makes it all worth it, getting the positive feedback as well. I had some more earlier as well from a guy called Richard on the platform. We're just about to release LiDAR maps functionality on the platform as well. So essentially, that's what you can do. There are quite a lot of other features. There is a forum feature as well, but not many people use it. But we've added it anyway, just in case people are familiar with that, whilst they get used to the timeline and newsfeed side of things. It's relatively simple to use on a mobile. but some bits can be a bit tricky at the moment. But the apps solve that issue. So we're going to have an app for Android, an app for iOS. We're going to have 2 messenger apps. We'll have, I keep wanting to mention the other platform. Maybe I will mention it now anyway. I've just launched a second platform called Detectogram. So the purpose for this is, a lot of people ask me, if we post pictures of finds on Detector Network, can we automate that posting onto Instagram? And unfortunately, the answer is no, because Instagram limited their API recently, which doesn't allow us to do that. So I thought, well, if we've got Detector Network, it would be nice to have, say, an Instagram clone just for Detectorist, where people can share their journey and their passion, but very quickly by showing photos and videos. So DN is Facebook, DG, Detectogram is Instagram, Detectogram just for Detectorists, and we'll integrate Detector Network login and posting. So we'll introduce cross-posting between the 2 platforms. So it will be less effort and people can utilize both platforms as well. Just reading that from Terra England, there. Couldn't see a preview. Yes, there is a preview video, and we've got 2 published articles now, one in Searcher, one in THM. I'm in the process of updating the welcome screen now to make it less inconspicuous. As now we've got quite a lot of members, and it's quite established now in such a short time. I'll be putting up the video and various other accreditations on the welcome screen.
Rob's got an interesting one, Scott.
What's he saying now?
I'll let you read it.
I'll keep reading your comments, Rob. I'll respond to.
Always read it first before you always read it in your head first before you read it out loud.
Yeah, I'll just pop on to the end now as well and have a look. But yeah, so it's been highly positive so far. I'm quite humbled actually about the feedback that I've had. And again, thanks Steve for signing up. I noticed when you signed up, you very quickly created a page, a group, you added items in the market, you know, all different things. So that without any help, which seems so obviously it's not too bad to use.
I'm just fantastic at technology, not as nobody ever said.
Yeah. There are a couple of other things that I've added as well. So you've got the market feature. It's similar to something like Gumtree. So it's quite basic. You can post items up for sale. There's no fees. And then you can contact the seller. So you can post up anything you want in there. I did just release a feature as well. It's only for verified users, but you can submit funding requests. And the purpose for that is to receive donations. So you could set up a funding request for your chosen charity or for something else and have people donate to you. The way that works is they'll donate, it will go into the Detector Network, either PayPal or bank account, and then when you reach over a certain amount, which is the minimum withdrawal request is £10 at the moment, we'll submit a withdrawal request and we'll pay it out. So that's how funding requests work.
Well,
So that will probably be quite popular going forward.
If I could just stop you there, Scott, we have Adrian on board, and without further ado, we'll bring him in. So it's a good evening, Adrian.
Hi, Steve. Hi, everyone. All right, Scott?
Adrian. How's it going?
Yeah, fine. You doing well?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good.
Scott has just telling all the good points about Detector Network. So if you want to give him a break, you can explain a bit about yourself.
Basically, I'm field tester for Treasure Hunting magazine. Have been for the last couple of years. Started detecting, well, as a child back in the 70s. My granddad had a sea scope and fortunate to have fields behind his house. And I started detecting with him as a young kid. And in those days, Romans were almost on the surface. It's before people really got into the hobby. And obviously grew up, got married, had kids, and the last 12 years been detecting in and around Essex and places, and fortunate to get machines from Treasure Hunting magazine for the last few years to test them out. And in the last 24 months, there's been a hell of a lot of machines being released. So today I got the Garrett Apex. which is
I was going to say, do I spy an Apex?
yeah, it's sneakily hiding in the corner. Yeah,
That's product placement. I don't think
yeah,
I've ever
yeah. I put that on. Yeah, I had Garrett's Ace 250 many years ago. To be honest, I didn't like the tones. It was awful on the beach. But this so far has been literally only had it today, but I've had a little play with it. It's a totally different machine. It's so far it seems really nice, lovely tones, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to try it in the next month, give it a spin, and see what happens.
Okay, just welcome a few more people. We've got Aaron on board, South Coast Detecting. Good evening to you. Who I missed? Stan's Lad, Odyssey, Southern Search and Metal Detecting. I think that's it, but feel free to click me around the ear if I've missed your name. Oh, Pomsey. Who can forget Pomsey?
Stan's Lad asks, what's a verified user? So you can submit a verification request, and then we'll review it and we'll verify your account. So it essentially gives you a tick symbol next to your name, and it'll allow you to do other things on the platform as well.
Okay, so post your questions, please, people. If you've got any questions about Treasure Hunting Magazine or Detector Network, please feel free. We've got the experts on board this evening, so you just fire your questions at them.
Southern Searcher said, my dream machine is an Ox 800, fund me. Well, the first step, Southern Searcher, is joining Detector Network. So I look forward to seeing you on there. We'll see what we can do.
I'm hoping if I can wait that long enough, I might be in possession of an Apex, but I hear that the general release is end of September. Is that right then, Adrian?
Yes, yeah, there were a few initial bugs, I think, in the early days, and some people have had machines probably 2 or 3 weeks, but they're pre-production models. So this machine I've got is the actual thing that people will get. That's one thing at Treasure Hunting Magazine, we don't take pre-production models on because we like to tell people what generally getting. So yeah, it's actually as people will receive it. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes. But September, yeah,
I look forward to that. Rob, put any questions you have to chat for Adrian Scott? No one wants to ask Steve anything, as we know his kinks. I've got no kinks, Rob. You've got the wax. You got the wax kit. Just think about it.
So hopefully I've answered sort of the base questions and explained what Detector Network is. Also, it's worth mentioning as well, Treasure Hunting Magazine and Adrian have been absolutely instrumental in the success of Detector Network so far. So thanks very much, Adrian, for your help.
That's right. I mean, I basically in lockdown when everyone's sitting at home, I was on some metal detecting forums. I don't like Facebook much. I think, one of the reasons I like Detector Network is it's purely metal detecting, nothing else. And I find with Facebook, you go on there looking up, I don't know, the information on thimbles or something from someone, and next thing you're looking at a cat jumping in a swimming pool, and then you get a message from a friend at work, and it just, I don't want all that. So I signed up to Detector Network how long ago, Scott, when it was pretty much new, wasn't it? It was
I think you were one of the first members.
And
on Instagram,
I literally went on the site and thought, this is quite impressive. What's the catch? And I contacted Scott directly and said, great job, really nice. This is what is needed. And since been on there, and we've been chatting about certain things. And then have you mentioned the other thing from Detector Network, Scott?
I have briefly.
Yeah, Detectogram. And then we got chatting, and the possibilities are huge. I mean, Scott's a clever guy, and I think it could develop and be a really good place for people all over the world to talk and communicate. But I find Facebook, the way the algorithms work and stuff, is controlling what you see as well as what you say. Not that Detector Network will block everything that people say, but it was just refreshing to see something new in the hobby on the social media side of things, because the old forums, like Scott's probably said, are very clunky, limited. And with the app coming out soon as well on Android and iOS, it'll be really great, especially for recording your finds stuff. So
Yeah.
Right, Adrian,
right. Are these tests honest, Adrian? Are you right to answer this question?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Yes, they are. And a lot of people will say things to me like, "Oh, you never write a bad review," or, some things like the injection molding on some machines are a bit dodgy, which I've written about in the past. But Treasure Hunting Magazine, we are a bit picky about machines we review. So we get people from China, we get people from Bulgaria, people from Mexico, all over the world want to send us a machine to review. And we won't review machines that we don't feel will benefit the average metal detectorist or even a beginner. So we're always doing the new C-scope, which is coming out soon. We're looking forward to testing that, but we'll always try and stick with well-known brands, which in this game is key at the end of the day. So they do pay for advertising. Yeah, they do. But they also pay. We have people pay for advertising who we've never field tested their machines for one reason or other. But yeah, they are honest. Before I did the field testing, I used to go. What was that?
Right, that's my phone. Oops.
Before I did field testing, I used to get very confused by all the reviews and stuff online and YouTube channels and people saying this is great and I found a gold data on the first day out. But no, they are honest reviews. I'm quite fortunate. I've got a load of machines and I do have my favourites. One of my favourite machines is a Root Assault 71, which is pretty much an underdog. And not a lot of people know about it because they're a very small company in Poland, but that's one of my favourite machines. I really, really rate that. I've got an Equinox 800. I like it, but they all have different pros and cons. But as you know, metal detecting, people like their brands and they stick to certain brands and they like the whole ethos of everything around it. But no, they are true. They are true.
All right, Stan's lad says, anyone know where I can get a macro kiddies machine yet? Maybe one for Adrian.
Horde. Yeah, the Horde. They're slowly being released. I'm going to be getting one soon, actually. But I think just, got to grin and bear it, unfortunately. But they do look really cool, I've got to say. Nocta Macro done a great job on those.
Right. Mr. Petticoat is on board. Good evening to you.
Doodles is in. Are you Doodles as well?
Doodles, good evening to you. Just trying to catch up. I don't want to miss anybody because I get told off. I don't read people's names out. I think we're fairly caught up. So what do you want to hear from now, people? Got any burning questions? Mike Stewart, mine's only a cheap one, so I'm metal detecting on a shoestring.
Just seeing the metal detecting channel. Hi, Mike. He said, man, there are some dodgy guys on tonight's stream.
I'll just put that on screen. There are some dodgy guys. Well, there you go.
So you're aware, Mike Kane from TMDC is on the DN UK team. So, there are some dodgy guys on the DN UK team, I guess.
Let's stop Rob from deleting him then.
Steve, have you been on the Detector Network much, or?
I pop in now and again, but last week or so has been fairly manic. We've been away. I've come back to a bit of a problem, so I've not really had a heck of a lot of time. But I do. It doesn't help when my eldest daughter plugs a USB charger thing in for her Fitbit into a USB which is damaged, pushing all the pins back and shorting the PC out. So I've now got a dead laptop. So that's fantastic. But there you go. It's only money, so they say. I'll just been down the town today and bought her a new uniform for secondary school, and that's money. Shoes, tennis shoes, uniform, keep going. Anyway, back about that. Yes, I hit it hard to start with because I think you tend to do when you first start to get your feeling your way around, testing out things. What does this do? Set your page up, do your group and get all your photos on and headers and stuff like that. So yeah, I hit it fairly hard to start with, and then it's just a daily. You get what's that? Oh, it's a notification. Someone's followed you, or there's a message. So yeah, I do dip in. Probably dip in fractionally more than I do Facebook, because that's not my preferred choice at the moment.
No, it seems to be a lot of people coming away from it. It's interesting as well, because with Detector Network, the demographics of the average detectorist is quite an elderly age, wouldn't I say, Scott?
Yeah.
Because you know from your stats. But
yeah,
going forward, the average youngster doesn't want to go on Facebook because their mum and dad are on it. So I think a different platform where, you know, people can't see what you're posting and what you're talking about, which is one of the things I like. You know, last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, found William III 1695 gold half guinea. Yeah, which is on Detector Network. And I personally don't post it on Facebook, because I'll get all my friends saying, how much is it worth? Well, where did you find it? What have you told? And it's all that. Whereas Detector Network, I can post it up and I can get genuine people saying, that's nice, where did you find it? What settings were you using? What machine were you using? Rather than someone, hi Adrian, oh, didn't I used to go to school with you? And all stuff like that. And I know you in the groups, but yeah, and there's also the side of Facebook, people can know where you live, or know someone who knows where you live, and that sometimes can be a bit disconcerting for a lot of people.
Well, I've got a question here from Aaron, South Coast Detecting. Do you think the prices of some machines are justified by what you get, or are they overpriced?
I think my background's manufacturing, so to give you an example, if you were to make a tool, injection molding tool for a coil, right? So you're talking a, you know, standard size coil. If you were to buy the tooling to make that injection molding tool out of plastic, that's 20 grand. So on top of that, you've got your shaft, you've got your hand cup, your arm cup and everything. So the actual work that's involved, and also the CE registration, the safety testing, the radio testing, I think machines have come down now to a price with the technology involved. I think they're fairly reasonable in price. I think something like the Equinox 800, obviously there's a lot of work that's gone into the development of that, which is linked to the MOD, which I don't think a lot of people probably know, but a lot of technology that went into the Equinox is used by Mine Lab for certain military sides of things. But I don't think they're overpriced. There are certain machines I think are, but I think if you look at the prices, I mean, Steve, you've been detecting it for a long time, haven't you? If you look at how much a machine was 15 years ago, based on what you get now for 400 quid or 300 quid, you know, the Simplex is a prime example. Cracking little machine for what, a few hundred quid. And Garrett now with the Apex, that's very competitively priced. So no, I don't think they are overpriced.
I think technology has really come on in leaps and bounds, and you get more bang for your buck nowadays, although there are obviously still machines out there which run into the thousands. But you know, for a beginner, as you said, the Simplex, sort of £300-400, you're in the game with a really decent detector.
And also they're updating the software, bringing out like the extendable shaft, 2 new coils they've just launched for the Simplex. It's not just a machine you buy and detect, it's constantly being updated. So yeah, which I think Garrett are going to do with the Apex soon.
Yeah. Southern Search and Metal Detecting, the higher range machines are out of my price range, hence I use a Simplex. Nothing wrong with the Simplex. You know, I mean, I started out life with Garrett Ace 250 Ace, and then made a little bit of a leap to the Deus, which I didn't tell Mrs. Sifter that, but yeah, we went from a few £100 machine up to quite a lot of pound machine. So and I've stuck with that at the moment, and I'm just hoping, I just got a hankering to try the Apex. So we're going to see when they come into the UK, and I might get my hands on one and give it a bit of a thrash. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you've got to walk over it, haven't you? Like everyone.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
I've had some really good finds with low end machines. I've probably had better finds with low end machines than I have high end machines. Thinking about it, last year I found a 13th century medieval bishop's ring, gold with a cabochon sapphire with my routers all 71, 3 inches down. The reading was coming up as pretty much a foil, dug down, and it's now going through the treasure process. So, you know, and there's my mate, his Equinox 800, pulling up shotgun cartridges.
You've got to, as you say, you got to walk over it, and you just got to have a little bit of luck. I mean, you get somebody following a DAS with a lower price machine, find, you know, something really good. It's just where you swing. You might swung and missed it, and the guy behind you comes up and hoovers it up. So annoying as it may be, that's how it is.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, you know.
Ian is Ian Watson has taken the whiz out of me yet again. You have to walk over it and have your machine turned on. Am I going to show myself up and explain that little story, Ian? Okay, I'm up for it. Went to Spring Detective Hall, where the hoard was found, the Hambledon hoard, and I walked over that with my machine over my shoulder because I was going to do the token field, which was the next field to the right. So I walked over the hoard with my DAS turned off. So that's why he's mentioned it, just to show me up.
It's funny you say that. Last week I was out with the Simplex with the new coils, just giving them a test. And on the Simplex now, the version 2.77 software, there's a really handy mute button. So when you get pinpointer out, so it doesn't. And the amount of times I forget to turn that mute button off, and then I carry on walking about 20 feet and think, oh, it's really, really quiet on here. I've done that probably 3 or 4 times, and I'm an absolute idiot walking back on myself. But yeah.
Yes, no, they never let these things lie. I always tend to bring them up with me, you know, sort of every other live stream. Oh, Steve, do you remember when you walked? Yeah. It's old now. Right. Southern searching metal detecting. I love the Simplex. I find loads with it. I've used the Garrett Ace 250 for 2 years and then got the Simplex. Same with me, really. I had the 250. It was fine and stuff, don't get me wrong. And I think I upgraded it to the Nell, a Tornado coil. And then just decided on a whim to go with the DAS because a friend of mine had one. And I was finding more stuff, whether I was just walking over different parts, you know, of the ground. But yeah, my find rate did go up. But it's a machine which is many, many more times the price of the 250.
Just scrolling through the comments here.
Doodle's got one. What's that? I think, in my opinion, newer detectors find more than the seasons as they dig everything. You've got to dig it all. I mean, you know, Chill Bill, you've got to dig it all because, you know, it could be a shotgun end, that could be a bit of foil, but equally it could be a hammy. You just don't know. That's
right. Yeah. I think that's one of the downsides with the new technology on machines. People rely on the VDI and the information on the screen too much. Whereas back in the old days, you had like a C-scope and you just had your tones. People now, that's the shotgun cartridge, I won't dig it. And I think that sometimes is not good. You need to you need to listen to your tones. That's the key thing.
Right, one for you, Scott. I think Aaron says, does the Detector Network have or going to have live streaming features?
It does. Yeah, I'm in the process of integrating live streaming features for mobile. So you can go live at the moment on a desktop or a laptop, but you will soon be able to live stream direct from the field. And that will be available in the apps as well. I'm also in the process of integrating stream keys so people can use OBS broadcast software and stuff like that. So we'll be looking at that further as well.
Okay, good question, Aaron.
Questions in there.
Too many machines have a foil or a ring pull logo on them, encouraging people to notch them out and miss something. Some on the hammers and rings. Yeah.
It's an American thing, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, when I got the Ace, I done you can put numbers on, can't you? Stick numbers over there, cents and whatever, and work it that way. But yeah, you shouldn't notch that out, really.
No.
Southern Search metal detecting triple my fines rate on the Ace 250 when I got the Nell Tornado core. A 9-year-old boy still uses it and beats me often. How annoying is that?
It's true though. Not a lot of people look at changing their coil. There's so many people who'll just keep. They'll have an Ace 250 for like a year, 2 years, and then upgrade, but they don't think of upgrading the coil. That's a good point. That is.
Metal detecting channel started off with the Whites MX Sport and never found nothing. And I bought the Knox 800 and never stopped finding stuff.
Yeah, poor old Whites, gone now.
Right.
Any other questions?
We've got That's Brad on board, so hang on to your seats, guys.
Oh yeah.
Please rein it in. That's Brad. Please. I don't want to have to delete the live stream. Rob loves nails. Doodles, Knox VDI I don't use. You can identify nothing specific about all the tones.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, the VDI is so varied on machines. I mean, you got like the root assault. I keep saying the root assault 71 that goes to 120. You got the Knox that goes to 40. Do you know what I mean? And then you got I'm trying to think about another machine, Simplex, that goes to 90. 90. And it using different machines, I sometimes get confused and look at VDI and think, oh, maybe that's a hammered. And then I think, no, that would be on. Do you know what I mean? It's quite a CTX 3030. Oh, interesting. I missed good finds with CTX. Yeah. Probably because you could only use the CTX 3030 for 2 hours max.
Let's have an arm like Popeye.
Yeah. Be interesting when Minelab bring the replacement for that out.
Mud Max, is my question too contentious? I think you mean Deus, too expensive now considering today's options?
I think with the Deus, you're paying for more than the ergonomics of the machine is cracking. It really is, and the weight. It's a lovely machine to use. I think you're paying a lot for the design as well as the actual technology.
Yeah. Johnny B, what do you recommend cleaning coins? Not a Dremel. Never use a Dremel or a wire brush.
What type of coins?
What type of coins, Johnny B? Metal detecting channels off. Night, guys. Working. Have a great evening. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Much appreciated.
Stephen Pettikin has got a question for me. Will Detector Network have a flow involved to police the fines? Well, yes. Recently, we got in touch with PAS, the British Museum. That was quite successful. We started to onboard flows onto Detector Network. So we are looking at functionality to make it easy for you to record your fines directly from DN. That will be the same for the web platforms and the apps as well. So more on that soon, which would be good.
Aaron's got a good one for both of you.
Oh, I'd say for money, probably the Simplex, but for technology, I don't know actually. I'd say the Simplex because the detectable. You there, Steve, with the mermaid in the fish tank and all that malarkey.
I was in there, mate. I was with her. I was in there.
I thought you were one of the pirates on the.
No.
When that, I remember speaking to Dilek, and I said, "Oh, it's IP68," and she said, "Yeah, it's totally waterproof, rechargeable battery, and we're going to update the software." I was like, "Hang on a minute! For this amount of money, you must be having a laugh. If you do, you're going to cause some issues to other companies." And when it came out, and I got one and tested it, and the first thing I did with it actually was throw it in a lake in the Treasure Hunting magazine review. I went to a lake and I threw it in there for half an hour, and I timed it on my phone with it on, just to see. And then whilst it's in there, after about a quarter of an hour, I thought, oh God, what if it does bugger up? I can't write a field test on it. But I took it out after half hour, and it worked absolutely fine. I thought, this is quite good, and literally got it out, and I found a modern 50p in the water about 6 inches down, which is quite impressed. So for me, that's something that's really blown me away for the money.
Johnny B has replied, any coins really, hammy, with different things, different types of coin really, but what do you think?
I just warm water and soap and a bit of reverse of tinfoil, not the shiny side, the matte side. Some people lacquer their coins. I tend not to. The waxes that you can buy, the aftermarket waxes, I mean, on silver you don't really need it, but it's funny, the aftermarket waxes, because there is some good ones out there. There's a guy who's heavily on social media, but it's still not proven that wax will last or not cause any issues after 50, 60 years. So it might be all right in the time you've got it, but in 100 years' time, it might damage the coin. So the way I look at it, if it's been in the soil for 200-300 years and it's as good a condition as it was pretty much the day it was dropped, I'd just leave it. Bit of reverse of tin foil, that egg smell to show you got
that old egg smell going.
Stink bomb, as we call it.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot. The best thing to do is I'm trying to think of if you get Treasure Hunting magazine, there's always articles in there about how to clean your finds. But it's a delicate one because it depends whether you've got something that's copper, gold. Well, obviously gold. Clean.
I mean, here's another delicate question for Scott.
Yeah, well, this is an unavoidable issue, I think, and I'll let you know exactly where I stand on it and what DN's purpose is. So Mud Max asks, what are your thoughts on the new association of Detectorists? The truth is, I'm on the fence. Really, I don't know what to think yet. I'm watching to see what is happening, what's being said, and then in the future, I'll make a decision. However, for now, my sole focus and concern is growing Detector Network. Now, there is another feature of Detector Network, Phase 3, that I wanted to introduce. So the purpose of Detector Network is to give you guys a platform worldwide where you can connect with other detectorists. The goal is to become the largest social platform worldwide. And the only way that we're going to do that is by achieving adoption and adding as much value to the community as possible. So far, we've had great feedback. We're introducing new features, the app's coming out. But Phase 3, I thought, well, what's the biggest problem that most detectorists have? And that's obtaining permissions. And I thought, what if I could introduce or try and solve that problem by giving Detector Network branded support packs and cards to detectorists and introduce something called Detectorist ratings worldwide, so not just for the UK, where you would approach a landowner, hand them your Detector Network card with your Detector Network profile. The landowner would join Detector Network, you'd agree on the dig, you go on the dig, and then a week or so later, we'd send an automated email to the landowner asking them to rate you. And then you build up a rating from there. We'd limit the ratings can only be viewed by yourself and the landowner account type. And I think that might help with upholding a certain standard in the hobby. Now, instead of just releasing that feature, I thought I'd put a poll out recently to see if that would be popular. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to release features if it's not going to be popular, because the platform is for you guys and not for me. So I've released the poll. I think it's just over 70% of people have voted so far that they think is a great idea. Some other people think the support packs are a great idea, but they're not keen on the ratings. And then just a couple aren't keen on it at all. So, any new feature that we release will go out to the population first. And then if it's popular, we'll build it. And it's as simple as that. So back to the original question. I'm on the fence at the moment. Time will tell. Yeah, I guess. And that's what we'll have to look into.
Right, I've got one from Scott. If I click the right button, that's for Adrian.
Am I the only tester for Treasure Hunting magazine? No. There are other people. I think, how can I put this? I live 15 minutes from their offices, fortunately. So it's a lot easier for me to pick up machines, drop off machines. And there are other people who test, and you can read the magazine, and there are other people who test. But yeah, it's pretty. I meet Jules regularly, Julian Evan Hart, and have a chat with him. He comes to the club I'm a member of. Yeah. So yeah, it just works well. But no, I'm not the only one. I'd say I'm the most used one. Take that whatever way you want.
Yeah. Aaron says, I think that's for Scott's question about the referral and all that. So it might be tricky, Scott, as a lot of landowners, farmers are very busy people. They might not get time to log in.
That's quite right. Yeah. And of course, during my planning phase, and I'm still doing planning and trying to come up with, I'm a good problem solver, and I like to look at problems and try and solve them. So of course, with phase 3, if we were to introduce Detectorist ratings, you have to adhere to, what's in it for me, WeFM, as they say in sales. So, if they're a landowner, if they don't, if they're not particularly worried about saving history, then you may have to appeal to their wallet, so you might have to sell the benefits to them. So, okay, if you sign up to this and you let us on your land, you'll get X, you'll have that guarantee and that guarantee that the land won't be damaged, so on and so forth. So we've still got a bit of planning to do. However, it's a very valid question, and I do agree with you, and I think that will be the biggest problem that we have. I'm up for a challenge. I'm up for giving it a go, giving it a test and seeing what we can do, really. If you don't try, then you'll never know. So.
No, you gotta try. Just a thank you from Mud Max.
No worries, Mud Max. Also, if you're more than welcome to express your opinions on Detector Network as well. Just let us know what you think about what's going on. Maybe we can put a poll out. There's all sorts of different things we can do. But yeah, it's for the benefit of the community, really, Detector Network, and I think that's where our focus needs to stay for now.
Yeah. Whew, okay.
Tough subjects, but hopefully that answers your question. But yeah.
No, well, I think Detector Network is a good addition. That's a good place. I think it's a nice place to go because you're going to have like-minded people on there. Rob Random, I've clicked before I've read, so it could be rude. Should always read Rob's first. Question for all three: what do you think of Detector Fest that is happening at the end of the month? Good, bad, or too soon?
Me, I think providing they put the relevant measures in place, which obviously they will be doing, and people maintain the social distancing, I think things are only going to get worse, unfortunately, with COVID. And I think it could be the last thing we see for a long time. I don't know. My daughter's a paramedic, so she sees it day to day, day in, day out. And she sees the increase, shall we say, in calls. Is it a good or a bad thing? I can't judge on something like that. I mean, I go to Tesco's and I'm in there with 200 or 300 people, and someone's leaning over my shoulder to get a packet of cornflakes, and then behind me, I think it's a tricky one. As long as it's managed well, which I'm sure it will be, I can't see any issues with it, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree as well.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to blink first, haven't they? I mean, you must have to come to a point somewhere where you think, safety-wise, this is doable. We can have X amount in here, and that works. But people have got to do what they're told. I mean, how many times have you seen on the news that there's like, well, I'm not going to name where it was, but there's somebody had 200 people around their house for a party. You know, you've got to obey by what the government says and stuff like that. If you don't, then this thing's going to drag on and on. I've been keeping my head down. I mean, I'm diabetic. The wife's asthmatic and that. And the only places I've been is the pharmacy. I'll take my nip around to swimming, and that's a bit of a bugbear because in the email I said wear a mask. You get there, hardly anybody's wearing a mask. You ask, do you have to wear a mask? Well, you can if you want. You know, it's not the attitude. You've either got to wear a mask, or you haven't got to wear a mask. So I don't know. I mean, I'm keeping my head down personally, but I'm also missing stuff like, you know, detectable and spring detectable and stuff like that. Right, so look. Oh, the detectives. I'm off this week for a week minimum. Decided to drill a screw through my finger. Lovely. Rob, again, do you think all the other people that organise the bigger rallies will be watching? Certainly, I would have thought so. I mean, as I said, someone's going to have to blink first, and then people are going to sit back, watch, and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's affecting the clubs as well. I mean, my club used to meet up sort of, I think it was the first Tuesday of every month, and there'd be anything between 50 and 100 people in the pub. Obviously, now that pub's now full of people eating fish and chips for £2.50. So, you know, it's going to be hard when the clubs do go back if a pub wants them in there at all because they're too busy doing the food.
Yeah. I think Stan's right. It's got to be safer in the middle of the field than the supermarket.
Yeah.
Aaron says Spanish flu took 2 years.
Yeah, I reckon this could be longer.
The trouble is, it's a bit of a fine line. Do you just furlough everybody and let the country go down the toilet? You've got to get people back. You've got to get things working again, haven't you? So it's a fine line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suffolk aren't. The young ones think they're invincible. I did go down to town today. We'd go into town to get the eldest uniform for our new school. And because people are wearing masks, and I think the people who got the mask on, they think they're invincible because they come right up to you. They think, because I've got this mask on, I'm not going to catch anything. And, you know, the times I say to myself, 2 meters, you know, I get the whiz taken out of me. But, you know, people just don't care. You go in a couple of shops and you got your hand gel at the start, and then you go in there. It's like free for all. That's ridiculous, really. Mud Max, I think rallies will be gone soon if the new maximum 30 on a rally rule comes in. What do you think, guys?
Well, I think it's only going to get worse towards the end of the year. So I think you could be right there. I think, it could possibly be the case.
I think, you know, Detector Networks probably come in at a good time, even though I say so myself, I guess, with COVID, because if we can build tools that help people share the hobby and communicate, you know, better, especially during this difficult time, then hopefully, you know, it will keep the interest going, keep the momentum going. It'll help people out a little bit. You know, we're looking at ways to, you know, alleviate some of the strain of lockdown and things like that. So, yeah, but it is a difficult time, no doubt.
It's sad for those who haven't got permissions, who rely on the club for club digs. It's must be hard.
Yeah. Just try to sift through. Question. Aaron's got a question. With most, not all decent finds being found in the field, do you think beach detecting is looked down on?
It depends where you live. I mean, I'm in Essex, So my beach in Essex is Southend, for example, is heavily populated. So it is full of trash, absolutely full of it. Syringes, ring pools, you name it. However, if I go to another beach, which is an area near a power station, which no one naturally would go swimming, I find some really good 3-ring bullets, little brooches from people who've lost many years ago before it was a power station.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think beach detecting's harder than what it is, because with new machines, you wouldn't have dreamed on going on with a Viet. It was mainly the Seascope PI machine, which you would have used on the beach 10, 15 years ago. If you'd gone on there with a Whites or a Garrett, you would have had loads of interference and a mess. You can go on there now and happily detect with a Simplex or a Equinox.
Yeah.
I think beach detecting, it's almost, a lot of people look at it as the last resort. Whereas when I detect on beaches, the beaches I go to, if I find the right ones, it can be a really good day out. Really good stuff. I went on one not so long the other day. Fortunately, a girl I work with, she said to me, "Oh, Adrian, have you been here? It's called the Secret Beach." I said no, and I found it, drove down there, and people go there for barbecues and stuff, but it's a huge beach. In Essex, we've got a lot of mud as well as sand. And I had some really good finds, really, really good finds. Found sixpence, found a hammered on there, because obviously the way the beach had eroded over the years, what was land is now the beach.
Yeah.
I had a really good day out. I think, it's definitely something which I think some people are scared of, beach detecting, look down on. Yeah, I think it's right there.
Well, good night, Doodles is off. Thanks for joining us.
Doodles.
I'm not too far away from Dunwich, if you know the history of Dunwich, and the cliffs are eroding, and there's a cemetery right on top of the cliff. And there's regularly parts of bones and things found, and a friend of mine walked along and found a ring on a finger. So I thought, but I got a good fish and chip shop. If we can get in there socially distanced, I might go up there for a plate of fish and chips and have a quick swing. You never know.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I metal detected in an old graveyard, and I didn't detect actually in the graveyard. It was on the outside, because there was a park next to it. It's overgrown in London, and I got a really good signal, dug down, and then put my pinpointer in, and then my pinpointer just suddenly hit something and then went through something, and straight away I thought, oh my god, what's that? And I pulled it out, freaked out, and I spoke to the ranger, because we had permission. It's like National Trust now.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, where were you detecting?" I said, "Oh, probably about 10 foot away from the edge of the graveyard." He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "The bodies move." I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "They can move up to 10 foot," because this was a graveyard dating back to the late 1700s.
Yeah.
And he said, "What?" And he said, "Oh, that's near there." And I was like, "I see it. I'm not going there again."
No.
I didn't realise that, but like erosion, everything moves under the ground because of the bugs and stuff. But yeah, that was a freaky day out. That was.
Yeah. So did you ever find out what you actually pushed through to?
I
don't want to know.
It did ring up as could have been gold, but
you weren't going to hang about to find out.
No. That was quite a bizarre one.
Okay, well, I won't put some of these comments up there, because I think some people are taking the whiz out of other people. So come on, people, we need your questions. Keep these two busy tonight. 10:15.
Quite a few other sign-ups on Detector Network tonight as well. So thanks, guys, if that's any of you. If you've got any questions about Detector Network, just feel free to ask, and I'll try my best to answer them.
One thing I do like, Scott, about Detector Network is the ability to put up articles. I don't know if you've mentioned that.
I have, yeah, and also something that other people aren't aware of, either, is you can publish articles on Detectogram now as well.
Oh wow!
So I don't think I've told you that yet, Adrian, either. So you've got published article functionality on both platforms now, which might get picked up by the magazines. I mentioned that earlier as well. Quite a few people have written articles on there. Quite some interesting ones so far on DM.
Scott, do you just want to run through again what features Detector Network has got, just for people who joined us, please?
Yeah, sure. So Detector Network is essentially like Facebook, but just for Detectorist worldwide. We're in the process of translating the platform into several languages as well. So you can create your profile. You can post on your timeline. So you can post videos, photos, updates, photos of finds, and various other different things as well. You can follow other people. So it's a follow system, not an add friend system. So similar to, say, Twitter. And you can view, so then you'll see all of their updates in your news feed. And there's a full reaction system on there. So like and various other reactions. You can comment, you can share their posts, share your posts as well. You can create like pages. So for a business page, an organization, your YouTube channel, charity, etc. You can add your YouTube subscribe link if it's for a YouTube channel. And so you can build likes and subscribers over time by building a like page. So if you've got your personal profile with your timeline that you post on, you'll have a separate timeline for your like page where you post up as your YouTube channel name, your organization name, for example. You can create public and private groups as well, to be good for clubs, I believe. You can write and publish articles, and we've got 2 major magazines on there. So we've obviously got Treasure Hunter magazine and The Searcher. So if you write and publish an article, there's a high chance that it will get picked up by the magazines and potentially published. So that's quite a good feature as well. You've also got events, but not many people have used that yet, probably because of the virus stuff going on. But you can add events, people can show that they're interested or go into the event, and you can add the location for it, etc. You also got a forum. So not many people use that at the moment, but we added that there as more of a legacy feature. Just if people want to use it, they're used to using a forum like thread type layout whilst they get used to the timeline. But most people use Facebook and know what it is anyway. You can create special offers for your like page as well. If you're running a discount on product or something. There's a market feature similar to Gumtree. So you can add products for sale. It's not very sophisticated yet, but you can add any items for sale, say a second-hand detector or something, and people can contact you via that. Also, we've just released a feature called funding requests. So that's essentially donations. So verified users can submit funding requests. And the way that works is put up a cause. So it could be for a charity, it could be for a particular thing that you need. People can donate to you. The funds will go into Detector Network, either PayPal or Stripe. And then if it's over a certain amount, I think I've set the minimum payout withdrawal request to £10 at the moment. But you can submit a withdrawal request and we'll pay out. So that's how that works. That should be quite popular in future. We'll be releasing Go Live. So Go Live on there, which is live streaming for desktop, laptop and mobile. So you'll be able to stream your files live from the field. And we're releasing new features so almost on a weekly basis now. There's quite a lot you can do on there.
So Pomsey says, how do I get a Detector Network app for iPhone?
So at the moment, you can only get it sort of via the web platform, so detectornetwork.com. However, we will be putting out an announcement very soon about all of the apps. So that'll be the Android and iOS core apps, the Messenger apps for both Android and iOS, and we'll also be launching an app for Detectogram for both Android and iOS as well.
Okay. I've seen some of the funding requests on there, Scott, but I always feel a bit reluctant to use it because that sort of smacks of a bit like getting your bowl out, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. I thought, well, I was a bit worried about releasing it because I didn't know how people would react to it. But I think if it's for a good cause or for a charity or something like that, then I think it's absolutely fine. And it's only for verified users as well. So, if the system is abused, then I'll take steps to prevent that from happening. But for now, I think I'll leave it there and just see how people respond to it. And that's the great thing. We can build features and release them very quickly. And if people don't like them, we can remove them. If people do like them, we can develop them further. And it's just for metal detecting and detecting enthusiasts. So, features that Facebook may never implement. So a lot of people have said, for example, I had a comment recently on a stream. They said, so essentially you're you're trying to take on Facebook, which has 4 billion active users or something. And I said, well, yes. And they said, oh, well, good luck with that. And I said, well, we're building features specifically for metal detecting. Facebook will never do that. If you don't try, you'll never know. And it's received some cool feedback so far. And I think, it's just worth doing these things just to see if they work. And it's been quite positive so far. So
I think what's good as well is out of everyone in the world detecting, including the big American audience out there, it's a British company, a bloke on his own who set up this platform, which, like Scott said, could be competing against Facebook. It's the British who've got this. There's nothing like it anywhere else in the world, and it's quite an achievement, and it's something which we should shout about and support, whether it's financially or just jumping on the platform to help out and find out what's going on. It's what we're good at in this country, and I think that's what's nice to see. We're innovators. It's something we should push.
Yeah, just like to thank Val quickly, lads, for your super sticker, and also the Detectits as well. Much appreciated. As he says, every little helps, and that will just a bit postage, so I can post so many freebies away. So thanks to both of you. Much appreciated.
No worries. Thanks for saying as well, Adrian. Yeah, I think it's been good so far. I'm excited about the future, and all the people on the platform have been great. I love getting all the feedback from everyone. We're quite looking forward to moving forward with this. And we've got a team of 10 people now across several different countries that I communicate with on a daily basis, and we've got quite a lot of exciting stuff coming up. As you can imagine, when we launch the apps, we're going to need a team to support it and help it grow. So we built a team. Now it's not just me, and hopefully we can make some good progress.
Yeah. No, I think you're doing great, guns. XP, I think, Adrian, you've touched on this before, but just briefly again, what's your thoughts on a Simplex?
Never used it. No.
We'll move on there then.
No, I think I said it's for the money, cracking machine. Whether it's your first machine or a backup machine. I'm not sponsored by Simplex. I don't get any money by Simplex. But when I first got it, I thought, this isn't going to be all that. But a machine that you haven't got to worry about getting wet in the field, a machine that gets updates regularly, which improves the machine. I think where Nocta Macro have done really well is they listen to their customers, which Dilek keeps going on about, but they do listen to their customers. So if someone's got an issue, they try and resolve it. So yeah, it's a great machine. I think the only thing I would say is, like with all these machines that are coming out now with built-in batteries, how long are they going to last? Even with the Equinox 800, as soon as that battery runs out and you need to put a replacement in, will that affect the waterproofing? Will that protect the? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like, so I think we're heading towards a sort of IKEA style detectors in the future. So whereas you'll have your sort of White's machine from the early 90s that you can still use today, just put some new batteries in it. I think going forward, we will have more disposable machines because technology is moving so quickly and the manufacturing processes are moving so quickly. So, but yeah, Simplex, good machine.
Yeah. John, there's one for you. Scott.
Very nice. Thanks, John. Yeah, hopefully I won't forget the early adopters either. We'll be doing some cool stuff with that. So for example, the platform is ad-free at the moment, and ideally I'd like to keep it ad-free. So I'll be releasing pro level memberships, and for each one of those levels we'll release certain features. And one of them might be, dependent on this COVID thing, if we were to be involved in events and things going forwards, you might get access to the VIP area. We're doing free sticker giveaways. There's all sorts of different stuff we'll do, and the member base will benefit from that, especially the early adopters. So thanks again, John.
So will the VIP area have a jacuzzi and some pole dancers then, Scott?
Not sure about the pole dancers, but it might have a jacuzzi. We'll see.
Adrian is flashing the merch.
Yeah.
That's the massive one, isn't it? Yeah.
The bandana.
You sent me some of those. A lot of people are using them, put them on their machines and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stickers.
Yeah.
XP asked what machine just got used. Well, I don't actually use a machine yet because I'm not a detectorist. So my brother is a detectorist, and that's how I got into build. So I've been in the digital industry for about 15 years, building websites for corporates. That's my speciality. My brother bought a detector just before lockdown and noticed the forums were quite old and antiquated, and so that's where my expertise came in. And that's how we came up with Detector Network. But now we're sort of 3 months down the line. I know a lot about the metal detecting hobby, and there's a high chance that I'll be buying one and giving it a go quite soon. So watch this space. Maybe I'll do a video on it on the DN YouTube channel. We'll see.
I'm sure if you can knock out some smaller stickers, Scott, they'll be popular as giveaways.
Yeah, I've got 2 variants. I've got a small variant here as well. This one. So we've also got some of these to give away soon. Snake skins, Hunter series.
There, very nice.
So yeah, we'll be doing lots of different stuff.
Yeah.
But it's, as you can imagine, it's been interesting time-wise. Let's just say that, getting everything done. But yeah, so far so good. Yeah, it's going all right so far.
John, so I think I've become a trillionaire in my ideas over the years. Only when I have a drink, then I come up with the greatest ideas, and I wake up, they're gone. Yeah.
I'll find the balance, John.
One for Adrian from Mud Max again.
Yeah, Fisher F75 and Technetics. Yeah, definitely good machines. Yeah, it's it's a shame what happened to them with the overseas people copying them, which no doubt everyone's aware of. I think that killed them a bit, but that's one of the issues, getting your manufacturing done overseas. But yeah, great machines. Fisher F75. I've had one of those. Had that for quite a while actually. Technetics. Yeah, they're good machines. It's a shame because you get really good machines that if they haven't got the marketing budget, people don't get to hear about them. And I said earlier about the Root Assault 71. It's a small Polish company. They're really popular in Poland, but over here they advertise in treasure hunting and do a bit of social media and stuff. But yeah, it's all down to how the product's marketed at the end of the day. As we all know, there are certain machines that we see and hear the hype of, and when you get, they're not all that.
Yeah. Fat Force says they make the skins like 35 miles down the road. Is that right? They make them in America then, Rick?
I've got one.
Yeah, snake skins. So Andy O'Neill from We Dig Metal Detectors is on the DN USA team. The other one is Joel Green from Digging Deep Beeps. But if you want to buy snake skins, then you have to go to LP in the UK.
They're really interesting.
Yeah. Are they like a universal thing then that fits all?
Yeah. They I like them. I've got
the Garrett machines. They haven't quite got the ones for the Garrett yet, I believe. But everything else, like for the Noxes, etc., will work.
Yeah.
Which I find quite weird actually, because looking at the coil and the cable on this, it doesn't look too dissimilar.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Standard. So I don't know why. Maybe I should put one on live on air.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it would fit.
Yeah. Right. Well, I don't want to keep you two lads up past your bedtime, so we'll see if there's any more questions coming in. I'm sure you two got better things to do and listen to my rubbish.
No worries. Thanks again, Steve, by the way, for adopting the platform sort of this early on.
No problem.
I was saying, Adrian, when Steve signed up, he went all in, and he created a page, his own profile, a page, a group, added things to the market, all of that, all without help, which was quite interesting. So yeah,
that's what you do. I've had plenty of time on my hands at that particular moment. So
yeah,
but yeah, that kept me occupied. Okay, Peter. Well, if you're not got any more burning questions, I will call it an end. I'd like to thank Scott and Adrian for joining me this evening. Been very good. And so, final questions, people, and then we'll call it a night. XP, what do you mean by that, Steve? Equal early adopter.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John. Yeah, very nice.
Mad Max, thanks all for the good show. Good.
Mad Max.
Surely you've spelt great wrong.
Thanks for the great questions as well.
Yeah, all good questions, people. Much appreciated. And yeah, we had a good evening. So we will say a good evening to all. Thanks for joining me. Thanks to Scott. Thanks to Adrian. And we'll catch you next week, people. 9 o'clock on a Wednesday. Regular live stream, giveaways, auctions, show your finds. Show your finds pictures, people. If you haven't yet, please email me them to me before then. And we'll have them. So see you next Wednesday, 9 p.m. So thanks very much.
Cheers, Steve.
Thank you very much, guys. Cheers, Steve.
Bye, Scott.
See you later, Adrian.